Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Estamos listos for UFC Noche Riyadh season, honoring Mexican fighters with oil money. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Darce Podcast, and I got caught with a blindside elbow from my guy Cal on the ones and twos, who joins us as a special guest today with Mr. Plus Money. Where is he at? Also slept. And my guy Slick Montana. Royal Rumble, baby. We got everybody here to talk UFC 306. Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Absolute banger. And 10 fights on this Sphere card. The Sphere, Cal. They got vibrating chairs. They got all sorts of crazy, pyrotechnics. I mean, new fight kits. Do you think that the Sphere is going to deliver on all this stuff it's going to, or do you think we're going to be laughing at Dana and saying it's kind of a dud for all he promised?
I don't know, man. It's a tough one because there's so, we're just going to have to see. Like, he's saying that too, and I think he honestly believes it because it's like, how does it unfold? I don't think he has full control over exactly how this is going to play out. The people that are running the production on it, is it going to make up for maybe the card not performing? And I mean, the bottom line is the card may not look like a certain thing, but the card could overperform big time and already be the story. So hopefully that combined with everything else is really cool. The idea that you can feel the punches in the seats, I wish I could be there, but I ain't coughing up that kind of money, even at a 50% discount.
I mean, I wonder how realistic it'll be. If it is, that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, 10 fights, so they all better deliver. Hopefully it does overperform. And before we get into this week's fight card, Mr. Plus, we got to talk about last week. Interesting UFC fight night. Steve the Mean Machine Garcia with one of the most savage wins of the night. How about that elbow? My goodness, I know he cashed big for you.
The Mean Machine. I tried to tell you, Cal. I like Kyle Nelson. I'm a fan. He's a dog, but not against the Mean Machine. Machines don't sleep, ladies and gentlemen, and neither does the meanest machine. I will bet on Steve Garcia until he loses. That's a fact. I just want to say, as far as the chairs moving, they got the air that shoots out on your feet on the ground. It feels like you've ever played a F1 racing game on the seats. It's like that. You are locked in. The Sphere, also the TV for it, which, they used to talk about how Dallas Cowboys had the biggest screen. I feel like it's like an IMAX screen or something. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I might be in Vegas this weekend. Man, it's $741. If you guys want to chip in, I might go.
$741. I mean, I know that
for nosebleeds,
for rafters. I saw initially rafters were in the thousands, 1,000 plus. So I know that prices across the board have come down on even the nicer seats, the VIP. I mean, worries of Dana talking about how we're going to lose money on this event. I don't know about all that. Then UFC makes money on every. Give me a break, all right? Oh, boo-hoo! Nobody is crying if they lose money on this event. Yeah, I'm sure. But nonetheless, I mean, we'll see how it plays out in terms of the actual building and the effects and everything itself. Slick, one more before we go on to this week's card. O'Malley versus Dvalishvili. Philly. Sean Brady. Proving. Going 50-45 against Gilbert Burns that maybe he's a real title contender. I mean, what if he were to rematch Belal Muhammad? Do you think that he's got a shot to get back there?
Honestly, man, that was the one worry about Sean Brady. His striking. Was he ever going to showcase his striking? And, man, did he showcase it, man? He 200 and something plus strikes to 55, 60 from Burns. It's just crazy because everybody knows him as a wrestler, grappler. And he even still initiated his wrestling and grappling in that event. So, hey, man, he looked like he had 5 rounds of good cardio. I would love to see him against maybe an Ian Gary or something like that. He called them out, honestly, but hey, man, he got high hopes after beating Gilbert Burns.
He was had some feisty words to say for Ian Gary. I like how he was talking his talk. He was with his boys, Paul Felder and everybody, Dean Thomas, his coach on the post-conference, and he was just talking his smack. So hope the sky's the limit for Brady. All right, it's time to get into UFC 306. We got a hell of a card for us. 10 fights, like we said. All of them sure to deliver. And we're going to start with the Mr.
Plus, Parlay Bust, bet it all in trust. Jabs and hooks, it's all about the rush. Put it down on the underdog, never hush. And I'll see you when that shit cashes.
How are we kicking off the bus?
If you like cashing in on Plus Money, buckle up. I've lost the last 4 in a row, just so we're being clear here. That's why I wanted Cal to give me my record on this, because I honestly know that since we've started, I'm up. I know I'm up because they're all plus money. So you don't have to hit it at more than 40% with the odds that I give out. However, we're definitely up betting the parlay buses. I'm going to get us back on track. Let me drive us to the promised land, the cashier counter, starting with leg number 1. I'm going with the lazy boy. Ronaldo is a monster. Rodriguez is a monster, bro. Yo, I get it. He's only fought in one UFC fight, but yo, this is Baraka's little brother. Look at his teeth. Not only that, I'm also fading Ode Osborne. Lost 3 out of the last 4. I just don't see it. Lazy boy with his grappling, with his submission attempts. I just think he can get this one done. Bring it to the ground, bring it to the mat, and finish this fight like he's supposed to. I can see an armbar. I can see an easy armbar to win this fight. Leg number 2, I'm going with one of my favorite strikers, Zeluber versus Esteban Ribovic. Brasco will pronounce that way better later. And listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This striking is going to be different. He's got like a 7 or 8 inch reach. He's longer, he's lankier, he's got those punches. I think he can get in, keep the distance. If he gets in close, I kind of think he's the stronger guy in there. I'm not sure yet. Ribovic only has that 1 loss, but it's to Loic, a really strong, compact guy. So Zeluber being a little bit taller and keeps his distance, I still think he's the younger, more muscular guy in there. But I'm taking Zeluber to keep this on the feet and get the job done. That's leg number 2. For leg number 3, this has got to be everybody's favorite fight. Let's be honest. I'm taking Diego Lopez over Brian Ortega. I have switched my pick. I was on Ortega the last time when they were going to fight. But when I seen him back out, and that was all fidgety and weird, and now Diego Lopez took the catchweight fight over Dan Ige and got the W, man, that showed me so much out of this kid. He's going for the title. He's not just playing for fucking wins. He's playing for the belt. I love this kid. Up and comer, nonstop pressure. And yo, let's be honest, he's relentless. The only time I saw Brian Ortega be relentless is when he fought Volk off his back for submissions. Okay, I understand it, but Diego's not going to let it even get there. The younger fighter, the more fit fighter, the better striker, kicks to the head. I could see a head kick knockout for this one, boys. And I think we're all on the same page. So let me hear some feedback.
Boom shakalaka, plus 282 for the Mr. Plus parlay bus. Ronaldo, Lazy Boy Rodriguez, Daniel Zellhuber, and Diego Lopez. 3 awesome fights, man. So we got to break these down. Slick, let's start with you. What do you think about the Lazy Boy taking on Ode Osborne? Lazy Boy's got good grappling. Osborne's been submitted in back-to-back fights. Are we live for another submission here?
Yeah, man. I honestly, this is just one of those types of breakdowns that I'm gonna just tell you. This is just a fade Osborne spot. Been fading this guy all last 3 of his fights. I remember I cashed heavy on Manel Kape by KO when they fought. I cashed heavy on Abu. They really tried to give me plus 300 on Abu by sub when he fought him. Like, come on now. Ronaldo showed that he's relentless. He's more tougher than a lot of guys that Osborne has fought, other than Manel Kape. And at the end of the day, this is just a good spot for Ronaldo, man. He's getting a guy that gets out grappled, a guy that doesn't really have good power in his hands. So maybe we fade him later on in his UFC career, but this is not a spot you want to fade him. Give me Ronaldo Rodriguez money line all day.
There we go. And, you know, he came into the UFC trying to get in as a 21-year-old, lost his bout on Contender Series. It looks ugly on the record. It was to Jerome Rivera. Ugh. But he was 21 years old. 4 years later, looks much improved, tough, relentless, like the fellas said. Cal, what do you think of the Lazy Boy?
Yeah, I think Rodriguez is definitely the side here. It's really hard to put your money into Ode Osborne, even as a sizable dog right now. Although he does have decent striking, and when he came into the UFC, sort of showed that he can be a potent striker at times too. The wrestling is the huge issue, right? Like he really just can't figure out getting taken down. If Rodriguez gives him, the only thing that makes me a little concerned is if Rodriguez just gives him to stand up on the feet. I don't think that would be a unwise move. I think maybe slow him down by grappling a little bit early and then land with some big shots in the second round and get him out of there. So I'm on Rodriguez too. I think he wins this one handily.
I absolutely like it. I like it very much. Now, Daniel Zellhuber taking on Esteban Ribovic. This one, I think, scares me the most out of any of the legs, Mr. Plus. It's a really good fight between two fiery young strikers. Like you mentioned, Zellhuber, good rangy kickboxer, right? But he's strong in there in the pocket. He can trade punches if it gets nasty. We saw him pull off an anaconda choke, so he showed good grappling. He's coming out of Extreme Couture. Love guys being coached by Eric Nixick. I mean, the sky's the limit for those guys. So Slick, Ribovic, though, a guy I know you've been high on. Pressure boxing, right? If he can take away the long-range weapons, maybe crowd the kicker, he could have success. Both guys are tough. I could see this one being a banger that goes deep. How do you see this fight playing out? Do you like Zellhuber in this one?
Yeah, man, I think I have to lean Zellhuber just for the simple fact that he's gonna have the grappling edge, and that just goes to show you, like, even Luik is a better wrestler than Zellhuber, but he was getting takedowns when he was death gas. Like, all he had to do was just trip Ribovic, and he was down on the ground. And that's the one concern, because Ribovic is one of those types of guys that he likes to dictate his range, like he did against McKinney in those first opening minutes, and then hit you with good shots that make you really worry about his boxing. He hits you with that pop shot, you're like, oh shit, like he just hit me something clean, and then next thing you know, he's in your face, and then he eats some shots. And Ribovic is one of those guys, man, that he's tough as nails. But the one thing I disliked about him in a lot of those fights outside the UFC is that he just wasn't really facing guys like Daniel Zellhuber with his range, with his type of height, with his type of grappling. And I think that's going to be a one concern about it. If Ribovic ends up being like one of those types of fights that he's just trying to go in your face, next thing you know, Zellhuber shoots a takedown and he's out on the ground, and so anything can happen there. So I just think that Zellhuber is just going to be too lengthy for him, too rangy for him. Unless Ribovic comes into this fight to really eat one, to give one all day, all 3 rounds, then I don't really see him beating Zellhuber. Zellhuber, for what we know, he has a great chin. So Ribovic is knocking guys out with head kicks, Terrence McKinney, but I think Zellhuber wins a good, I would say a tough 29-28 decision.
I like that very much. And that was my thought. I want to get everyone's method. Slick goes 29-28. I could totally see that. I like Zellhuber decision. Plus, do you think that, he's going to have like an 8-inch reach advantage. So like Slick said, maybe, Ribovic trying to get into range, gets picked off and clipped up. Do you think Zellhuber is live for the knockout or the finish, or do you like a decision?
Yeah, I could see with the knockout, but it's probably going to be a decision. But I could see, like we just talked about, how he gets in dirty and he's still strong. I like that. I like his clinch game. And, at the end of the day, when you're that big, it's hard to, if Ribovic or whatever wants to take him down and try to be that guy, I don't think that's going to happen here. I think he gets right back up.
Oh, Cal, you think Sub is live? I see you doing a little crank over there.
1000%. When you have a guy who's attacked subs before and he has an 8-inch reach advantage, and when you're outclassing a guy on the feet, so I may as well just jump right in. Zellhuber is my Darce leg this week. We'll talk a little bit more about him, but I just think he's going to be classier on the feet. I think that reach is going to serve him well. I think he may even get a takedown, as what Slick was saying as well too, because Ribovic, I think, was taken down like 11 times in one of his fights. And you could correct me on that, Brasco. But for me, I just think that he's going to be able to use his size, use his range, and if he clips him enough, a sloppy takedown from Ribovic ends up in a ghillie. Like up against the cage, I could see a standing ghillie or something along those lines. That happens quite a bit. You've seen a lot of tall, lanky fighters do that, where they have the reach, they're able to scoop that around and just secure that guillotine. So I actually am on the decision, though, but I still think it's live for submission. I think he's got value everywhere. Plus 130 right now by decision. Zellhuber's sort of that decision guy, but the sub is definitely live there. I think it could be there.
There we go. Yeah, I like the toughness of Ribovic to carry him to decision, but presenting a case for a potential sub angle, maybe a little sprinkle. You never know what he's improving over at Extreme Couture. All right, we all like Daniel Zellhuber. There's one more leg of Mr. Plus Parlay Bust that we got to talk about. It's Diego Lopez, and I absolutely agree with his breakdown. My main thing is, like, for Ortega's opponents, normally their mentality is the floor is lava. You cannot touch the ground. The jiu-jitsu is too dangerous. He is lethal. He is one shot, one kill with the submission attempts, right? But that's not the case here for Lopez, who is a fantastic jiu-jitsu player in his own right. He has great scrambling ability, and I think that he won't be afraid of a fight on the ground. So take that edge away from Ortega, and Lopez has the edge on the feet for sure. The toughness. He's had this will be a 6th fight in 15 months. 6 fights in 15 months. He's getting better. He's active. Like you said, Mr. Plus, he's super fit. And Ortega, 2 fights in the last 2 years against the same opponent, Yair Rodriguez, who has that weakness that Lopez does not. So I very much agree. I love Lopez here. Cal, what do you think about Diego Lopez?
Man, I'm the perfect person to go to. I have faded Diego Lopez in every one of his fights, whether it was money line, by a way of prop, whatever it might be. And I can't fade him any longer. The guy is proven that, we already know his striking is so potent. He tries to finish you on the feet. He tries to finish you on the ground. And the biggest thing for me here is what you said. If we look at Ortega, him getting the backpack is always the biggest thing with him, right? Or getting on a guillotine and jumping on a guillotine. And I don't see them serving him well against Lopez. So I think this, at best, it gets stalemated back to the feet. And then on the feet, Lopez is just going to tag him up. Now, the one thing, and I'm going to be a little bit of a degen on this one, the line's a little bit wide on Lopez right now. And although I think, if you wanted to make a sneaky two-piece parlay with him or use him up that way, whatever way you wanted to use him would be great. Ortega round 3 or by decision is also, or something with that round 3, because he did look like he faded Lopez in his last fight a little bit. And those subs, I don't know. I'm just messing around a little bit, throwing out some fun, but I definitely am on the Lopez side of this time. I'm not fading him again, but Ortega's a round 3 guy. I don't know. If there's value there, there's value there.
I hear you, brother. I mean, he's a legendary. He's been in there with the best of the best. Volkanovski, Yair, all the top flight featherweights. So I hear you. I will say, in Lopez's defense, I'll throw it to Slick here to talk about this fight. That was equally hard for Lopez to get Ige on 5 hours notice as it was for Ige to jump in there, right? I mean, Lopez cut weight multiple times ahead of that fight. And still took on a heavy-hitting striker instead of the matchup against the jiu-jitsu player. So, I was impressed with his ability even to win that fight and fight tough like he did. Impressed with Ige as well. But how do you think of Lopez in this spot? Like, do you think Ortega, where is he in this fight? I feel like he's close to retirement than he is towards a championship.
Hey, man, we got to hopefully make sure Ortega makes it to the octagon at the end of the day. So this guy cuts massive amount of weights, and this is just a guy that I believe he's hitting that, I would say, Dustin Poirier route, that Volkanovski route. Like, he's just in there to just make good fights and make money. Like, I honestly don't think he's going to ever become champion. And at the end of the day, I just think, like you said, the floor is lava for a lot of people, but it's not against Diego Lopez. Yair Rodriguez, one thing that I hate about people in the UFC, and I understand they're fighters and they doing their own thing, but when you got a guy hurt to the body and you just go to their guard instead of just letting them get back up and just implement more shots to the body, I already knew Yair was just destined to get subbed in that fight once he entered Ortega's guard. So at the end of the day, man, I'm taking Diego Lopez. I think he lands a big shot on the feet. And honestly, this is just one of those types of fights that I think Diego Lopez could get a sub. Club and sub, maybe.
Club and sub, definitely a lot, dude. That broke my heart so much that I had Yair by finish. And also, don't forget that fight was at elevation too. So another reason that could have gotten that chance submission. But nonetheless, it should be a good fight, and I'm excited to see what happens after Diego Lopez gets that win and moves one step closer to a title shot there. Who thought this guy would surge through the division like he has? All right, man. It's time for a new segment. Hebrit. We're on the ones and twos. That's a signal right there. On the ones and twos with Cal. We got dog action.
Donttap keeps it
going back
tight.
and forth on this one. It's a tight one. Pretty much a coin flip. We'll call it the underdog. Interesting female fight to talk about on this card. Cal, take it away. Who do you got?
Well, it's a pick'em, and I'm going to go with someone who's been ROI for me, someone who's surging and has shown me time and time again she has fight IQ in the cage. She's powerful. She's always working on her training. You see her online. One of the more impressive pages online as far as showing her training nonstop. I'm going to go with Norma Dumont. And I think that there's a couple big points in this fight. Irene Aldana, she showed me a couple things in fights that, I'm a little bit worried about. She showed me, I know it's against the GOAT. I know it's against Amanda Nunes, but she showed quit in the cage. When things weren't going her way, she broke. And she's shown that she can do that. And that's just the polar opposite in Norma Dumont, who's just a vicious animal who will charge you down and make you sprint across the cage because she hits you so hard and wants to keep coming at you. So I just think styles makes fights in this one. Irene Aldana, although she does have pretty slick boxing, Norma Dumont, she fought Danielle Wolf, and everybody's gonna be like, who's Danielle Wolf? This is a pro boxer who she fought, MMA fighter who's not very good, but she outboxed her. She chose to box her on the feet and outstruck her. Against Jermaine Durandamy, though, the one thing that shows the fight IQ is she takes her down 6 times in that fight. She goes to her wrestling, and she knows that Jermaine's going to beat her up on the feet if she sticks out there. So for me, she's shown time and time again that she's improving. She's surging. For me, she averages 2 takedowns a fight. I think Irene Aldana's takedown defense is just brutal. I think we got Norma Dumont by decision at plus 120, money line minus 110. It's just the stronger, more potent, I would say more damaging striker, but not better striker as far as technical. And I just think she's going to be, the one that she just has more tools in her tool belt, and that's the deal.
There you go, Norma Dumont for Cal. This is an interesting one to me. I don't think I'm going to end up betting it because I couldn't call it, Mr. Plus. I was thinking Aldana's last fight with Carol Hossa was wild, right? That was a banger, fiery, striking fight. And think of Dumont, she kind of struggled a little bit with Jermaine Durandamy in small portions when Durandamy was standing, and then she took her down right away. So if she takes Aldana down, she could have success. But if they're on the feet, it could be interesting. How do you see this fight playing out? Pretty much a pick 'em.
I agree with you. I'm probably not going to bet it. I might, but I'm probably not. And I like Dumont, but Cal, I got to go the other side. I got to go with Aldana, man. And the reason why is just because what I saw her do to Macy Chiasson, who's now like just climbing up the ladder and supposedly one of these great strikers. She knocked her out bad. This was a clean knockout. This was a stoppage knockout. I really got to see different hands from Norma Dumont. She's always rushing forward and putting the pressure on, okay, but it always looks unorthodox, the way she swings with both hands. I'm not a big fan. I like someone more like Aldana to be more calculated, smarter, and just have the higher fight IQ, and I think she gets the job done. I don't know if it's inside the distance. I think this is the decision. I don't think either of these girls finish, but I do think that Aldana comes through with the better strikes, the bigger moments, and wins this fight.
Mr. Plus referring to Aldana's up kick to the liver over Macy Chiasson, one of the more curious.
My fault. Up kick. Yeah, you're right. It was a liver shot.
One of the more curious finishes in MMA history. That was a wild one. Slick.
Only thing in that fight, quickly, Irene was getting her ass beaten in that fight by Chiasson.
She was.
And then the liver kick hits. And on top of that, it's going to be the takedown defense. But I know I shouldn't just jump in. My bad.
No. She was. That was a fair to say because she was getting beat up. And then she was getting that chintzy finish, we'll say. So, like, how do you see this fight?
Yeah, that Macy Chiasson fight was the real reason why I ended up betting Norma Dumont. Like, the one concern about Irene Aldana is that she's just willing to go neck for neck. Punch for punch, like she did against Carol Rosa, and then she's getting out grappled by girls like Macy Chiasson. So I just think Norma Dumont has shown time and time again that she knows what to do inside that cage. She knows how to win. And I just think that that's going to be a recipe for disaster for a girl that wants to brawl with you in the center of the octagon. And it's just probably going to be one of those boring fights. Like, I would say it will probably look a little bit like the Jermaine Durandamy fight. Jermaine Durandamy having a little success on the feet, and next thing you know, she gets taken down and controlled for 2+ minutes, and then everybody's booing in Las Vegas. So I just know Norma Dumont knows how to win, and I got to go with that.
Yeah, I hope they got some cool effects for this one because this one the crowd might not like too much. They might be being like, all right, look at this. Look, fireworks over here. Dumont just holding her down. I could absolutely see it playing out very much like Dumont versus Durandamy. Totally, I see it in my mind's eye now. It's the same fight. So, Cal, you might be the beneficiary of a win right there with Dumont's grappling. I see it. Or Mr. Plus, Aldana's got the chance to keep it standing and bang it out, maybe make it hurt her affair that she can win. So we'll see. Interesting one there. All right, guys. Salutes. It's time to go to the Slick Report. And we have another banger to talk about. Another one of my favorite fights on this card. Slick, I'll let you take it away. Introduce this one. Someone's getting hurt.
Yeah, we're going with Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes, man. These are two guys that I honestly been betting their whole career. Like I honestly haven't faded neither one of these guys in their fights in the UFC. So, but I'm going to go with Manuel Torres in this spot, man. I really believe that he could implement some type of striking that will make Ignacio Bahamondes fearful, in the sense that a lot of times Ignacio Bahamondes is looking to keep his range going, looking to get stuff his way. But guys like John McDessie, the fight that with him was a little concerning for me. A guy with a like I think he had like a 7-inch reach advantage in that fight, and John McDessie was able to just inflict damage on top of damage on him, wobbled him on a couple times. And the one concern is his level of competition also. Like this is the level of competition that I see Manuel Torres running through. Like he's taking guys like Roosevelt Roberts to the third round, wheel kicking him in the last 5 seconds. And he's taking guys like Trey Ogden, a guy that was nowhere near his level of competition, had no nothing on the feet for him, and he was just able to prance around and take the decision win. I just think Manuel Torres is going to be able to implement that Mexican blood. He's willing to eat one to give one, and that's what's going to win him this fight. I think Bahamondes. I don't think he has good power on in the striking. He's more of a kick type of guy, and that's what Manuel Torres is. One thing I love about him is that he crowds that kicking range and makes the range himself. Like we seen Nick, like the way he was able to just rearrange the type of game plan that he had against Nicholas Mota. He like, all right, bet Nicholas Mota want that long range left hook. I'm not gonna give him that. I'm gonna make believe. I'm gonna throw a jab and I'm gonna go in there with an elbow and sleep him. And man, I gotta go with the more dangerous guy in this spot, Manuel Torres. And also, Bahamondes does have good grappling, but I honestly think the more dangerous grappling is on the Torres side. I think he will be the guy that if he's on his back, going for arm bars, going for triangles, trying to get back on his feet. And he also has a good guillotine that we just haven't seen in the UFC. We've seen his grappling showcased in his last fight against a good power puncher in Duncan. And I would say a good defensive wrestler in Duncan too. He has good defensive wrestling. So I'm gonna take Manuel Torres in this spot money line. I think he gets either the knockout or the sub in this spot and make the Mexicans proud in this after this fight.
UFC fight Noche. We got to go with some Mexican fighters to rep. Bring on Mexican blood, Slick said. Fire me up for a Manuel Torres fight. That step-in elbow was vicious. And I agree with the points you make because Bahamondes, for the ranginess he has and the snapping, shots he throws with his kickboxing game, he lets guys like John McDessie and smaller fighters get on the inside, and he's hittable. And you can't be hittable against Manuel Torres. It's that simple, I think. I agree with you, too. I just think he's the more dangerous fighter. See the level of competition. Cal, do you agree with these points from Slick here? Is Manuel Torres live to get the finish here?
I've gone back and forth on this one, and I wanted to see if there would be value at this, like sort of going for the dog at a pick'em, sort of, just a slight edge on the plus money. But if you look at it, man, there's going to be a bull versus a matador, and a matador who maybe just doesn't quite have it. He's going to get touched once or twice, and I think that Torres is going to be able to have his way. Also, the one thing you want to look at too is Torres in the UFC he's averaging about 3.26 takedowns a fight. As long as he keeps his neck clear and keeps that head out of any trouble, which is the only thing that I'd be worried about. I could see him winning a decision through mixing in the wrestling, landing bigger strikes. I could see him getting Bahamondes out of there as well too. And although I wanted to be on the Bahamondes side, I mean, Torres has everything going for him: the power, the volume, the takedowns. You can't bet against that.
Yeah, we have seen Bahamondes lace up a crafty little ninja choke. We also saw him get controlled and out-wrestled by Ludovic Klein. So there's a world where Torres gets top control. I could see him rain it down ground and pound. Mr. Plus, are you thinking Torres shows out again?
My heart wants to go with Bahamondes, but my mind won't let me, and I'm gonna have to go with Torres. That's just how I feel. I like Bahamondes, bro. This guy is lengthy. He's a striker. He's pretty exciting to watch. But Manuel Torres is gonna have the power. I think if they end up grappling at all, he's gonna have the complete strength. I gotta go with Torres. And don't get me wrong, they're both strikers. I don't know. Bahamondes is crazy. He's weird. He's pointy. He's like, it reminds me of like some sort of tarantula with his big long legs. If you've ever seen the movie, what's that movie with the demons? Oh man, that's not good. It's not good to not know what you're talking about. It's like the stick figure guy with the big legs and big arms. That's how I feel like with Bahamondes and
Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, Legion, and the candy guy or the ice cream guy. But he he's got big arms, big legs. I just feel like he can boom, 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 outpoint them. But I don't know if those are going to be enough power to stop Manuel Torres with this crowd, with the Mexican crowd behind him, the noise, the sphere. Man, who knows how loud it's going to be in there? The whole place could be shaking. I gotta lean the same way and pick Torres here, just being smart about my bets.
I'm with you guys. Yeah, it's unanimous. We all like the Slick report. We all like Manuel Torres this week. All right, guys. It's time for the Brasco breakdown. And it's going to go to the co-main event of the evening. Gold on the line. Flyweight trilogy. Alexa Grasso. Valentina Shevchenko. Ultimate Fighter coaches in a season that absolutely nobody except me watched. And you know what, man? I'm just going to read you what I wrote. I wrote up a little article about why I'm going to take Alexa Grasso. All right, I like what I wrote. I'm just going to read you what I wrote, okay? Shevchenko is now 36 years old, which spells trouble. In the 125 to 170 pound divisions, fighters that are 35 and older are 2-32 in their last 34 championship fights. This is a trend I cannot ignore, guys. Despite Shevchenko's tactical kickboxing, her savvy grappling, and her tremendous fight IQ, I feel that she will be behind in this fight. Grasso's pressure Mexican boxing style has been successful in both of their fights, out-voluming Shevchenko and knocking her down in their last bout. It feels to me as well, guys, that Shevchenko doesn't have that mental edge, that classic Shevchenko mental pre-fight edge, because Grasso's taken her best punch. She's reversed her. She's dropped her. She's submitted her. She's gotten help from the judges even on a UFC fight Noche previously that Valentina was complaining about. Here we are again, another UFC fight Noche. How happy is Valentina going to be to walk into an environment like this again if it's down to a close fight? I feel like their last fight was Shevchenko's best chance in her old age to hold on to that belt, and she missed it. So I'm going with Alexa Grasso to retain the flyweight title, minus 120. I'm going 2 units on it. Now, of course, there's got to be some dissenting opinions because it's Valentina Bullet Shevchenko. So, Mr. Plus, let me hear it. Why do you like Valentina?
I knew I was going first, boys. And as much as I love Brasco, and I sure do, and I love both of these fighters, which I do, I think Shevchenko's got one more in her. If we look at that last fight, Valentina won rounds 1 and went rounds 3 convincingly. Rounds 2 and 4, they gave them to Grasso. No, I get it. She had the knockdown in round 2. Round 4, you could say she had a little more volume, maybe more stamina. The girl's 36, but I'll say up from the 36 chambers, she comes through. It's the gooch, my girl, Valentina Shevchenko, and you. Give me my belt back. Bro, she should have won the last fight. It was a split draw. It was so weird. I can't get over it. She should already have her belt. Now she's going into the same environment and saying, I've worked on my stamina. I've worked on what I need to. I can't get hit. I can't get dropped. If she didn't get dropped in round 2, she won that round. That would have been 1, 2, 3. Give me my belt back. I'm telling you right now, she's doing it again. I don't think this ends inside the distance. I think this goes the distance as it normally does with 2 amazing fighters. What is this, the 1 and the 2? I mean, this is what it's supposed to be. I got to go with Valentina one more time. Man, you can't catch her at this price almost ever, and never in any of her fights could you catch her at this fucking price. Give me Valentina for even money. I'll see you when that shit cashes.
Hey, man, it's a good argument for Valentina Bullet. A dominant champion like her, again, I saw plus 110 earlier, you know, just shop around. Find plus 110 on. I get it, man. So he makes the case for Valentina, who's as tactical as they come. Cal, I saw you shaking your head. What do you think? Valentina or Alexa?
I started this one on the side of Valentina just for the reasons of how I sort of felt the last 2 fights went. And the one thing that Mr. Plus said right there was, this is the cheapest you're ever going to get her at. And it's almost one of those things where you get a legend at that price who still maybe has it. It's almost like it's a pick. But I'm going to go on the other side with Alexa Grasso. The first fight, Grasso's getting sort of pieced up a little bit by Shevchenko, but she doesn't win. She gets submitted. So no matter what we say about how that fight was going, it didn't happen. She got MMA'd, and that's the end of that one. The next one, although she got outworked by the judges in that fight, I mean, we showed that the judges already have love for Grasso. Going into a Noche fight where there's a sphere with a love letter for Mexico. I'm sorry, if there was ever pressure on a judge to give Grasso the belt, it's right there. And honestly, I just think the biggest thing that we're overlooking here is the momentum in the camps. She's had 2 championship camps. She's gotten ready for Shevchenko twice. she maybe got, squeaked by on them. But the reality of the fact is I think she's only gotten better in every fight. Her camp itself is already on point, killing it. Lopez being a surging fighter too. I didn't think momentum's there. I think Grasso is way better boxing, not a better striker all around. I think that the actual Muay Thai kicking, and obviously we know is amazing from Shevchenko, but I think it's a passing of the torch officially, and we put this one to bed. Grasso wins it.
I love it, man. Yeah, Diego Lopez, Alexa Grasso, both in The Ultimate Fighter, and they're just looking like they're having a good time. Not to say that Valentina wasn't.
Fuck you, Cal.
They're just having a good time in their camp, enjoying it, enjoying being a part of these, UFC things as a champion now. So I think Grasso, like you said, passing of the torch here. I agree, Slick. I think she's the better boxer. If she can take a crowd the kicker, get into boxing range, she threw more strikes and landed more strikes in both of their fights. Do you think Grasso can do that again, or do you like Valentina here?
Yeah, I got to go with Grasso in this spot. Like you said, she just has all the momentum right now. She's Mr. Plus funny as hell. But yeah, I got to go with her. Honestly, this is just one of those spots that if Valentina doesn't implement that great of a takedowns in those two fights, she had like 8 minutes of control time her last fight against Grasso. One concern is that she's just been going to her wrestling a lot more in these Grasso fights, and she was able to take advantage of girls like Andrade and girls like Lauren Murphy with the grappling. But there was concerns in that Tyler Santos fight when Tyler Santos was hitting her with good shots. She just tried to get the takedown immediately. And this is just one of those spots that she could dry hump Grasso's leg for 5 rounds, and the judge is not gonna give it to her. So this is just a spot that Valentina, me personally, if she doesn't finish Shevchenko or wins at least 4 rounds convincingly, the judge is gonna give it to to Grasso in this spot. So I'm gonna go with Grasso also.
There you go. 3 for Grasso, 1 for Valentina. It's like Mario Party when you get the 3v1 game, which is fun. Sometimes you like being the one, Mr. Plus. Well, the co-main event.
No, it doesn't make me feel good, but I'll take it. I'm the one here. I'm on an island. I'm out here on an island. It is what it is, and we'll all see what's going to happen. I don't know how you guys can be so convinced that Grasso's just going to do this and Shevchenko's not going to be Shevchenko. That's just what I'm saying. Now, on the last fight, she clearly won that fight. If she didn't get knocked down in the second, it was her belt. I don't know, but she did get knocked down. I get it. But don't you think she's ready for that now? I don't know.
To be fair, the 10-8 round that Grasso was given to make that the split draw was highly questionable. It's one of the weakest 10-8 rounds you'll ever see scored. So that, if you want to call rig job or leaning judges, that's what that was. So the case has been made.
This is one of those spots where we need to know those judges that have felt the pressure. When you see a scorecard and like they give it to the home side or whatever it is, and there's that judge that just sort of wavers that way and they're just soft. If we can track that somehow, because you can actually find out who the judges are on fight day, right? And find out who the Grasso judge is going to be. You can find out and sort of maybe look at, is there going to be a weak ass judge in there that's just going to go with the Mexican side and then lean even more.
Dude, it's important. I mean, NFL handicap referees all the time, like Ron Tolbert calling a Chiefs game. Ron Tolbert's the 12th guy out there on the field for the Chiefs. You know what I mean? So you know what to do there. Ed Hockley calling an outdoor game. It's going under, baby. Holding. Bring it back.
Scott Fisher roughing a Chris Paul game.
Exactly.
Mike the Cooler on the sideline for NFL. There's 60 penalties. Why? Who knows?
There you go. Mike the Cooler. That's a whole nother animal there, guys. Tap into the icebox. All right, guys. It's time for the main event of the evening. And we have the bantamweight title on the line. Sugar Show continues. Sean O'Malley looking to defend it against Merab, the Machine, Dvalishvili. Say it right. Dvalishvili. And all the antics in camp are, what do you make of this? O'Malley was plus 135 at open. A big favorite the odds had as Merab to open this up, which was very surprising to me. And now he's flipped to the betting favorite, minus 135 about for O'Malley. It looks like there's concerns of staph infection or some sort of fungal infection on the arm of Merab. He's downplaying it. You got a call from doctors checking it out. So we can't be certain of his health status there, but is there staph? And then, of course, he's posting pictures that Dana's furious about a cut above his eye that he sustained in training camp. That's got to look like a bullseye target to the sharpshooter O'Malley at this point. So I'm going to let Mr. Plus start things off for us. Does the Sugar Show continue, or is Merab going to drown him with the pressure and break the game like he does to other fighters, right? Again, can Sean O'Malley keep him off him?
Let's make some money on this one, boys. I just want to say that at the end of the day, no matter what happens, this is the next up. If you don't think it's supposed to be Merab, you're wrong. It is. However, Sean O'Malley on the feet champ, bro. He put out Aljo. You think that Merab's going to be able to take this guy down? Maybe he'll take him down 3-4 times. He'll get right back up, get right back up, get right back up. Like everybody that Merab takes down. I'm taking O'Malley again. Bro, we can't bet against this guy. There's no way we can bet against this guy. On the feet, the quickest in the division, the fastest hands in the division. He came out of nowhere from the Contender Series, which is on right now, by the way. Enjoy the show, boys. Are you kidding me? I can't go against this guy. There's no way. There's no how. I am always with O'Malley. I'm going to stay with O'Malley. The striking, the hands. I could see a knockout in the first 4 rounds. I don't think it goes to 5. I think this ends early. I think O'Malley puts him out. I think O'Malley just hits him hard enough to where he's wobbled, and the ref has to come in and stop the fight after he sees bop, 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 bop. O'Malley's relentless, man. His punches are crazy. O'Malley is everybody's favorite. He's got the pink hair, the braids, everything going on, the candy shorts. Bro, how can you go against O'Malley? Sean O'Malley for the dub, and still, this guy's electric. I think he's going to reign champ for 4 or 5 more title defenses, man.
Wow. 4 or 5 more, and looking to become perhaps the UFC's next Conor McGregor, man. I'm with Mr. Plus. I think Merab takes too much damage on the way in. Even his coach, Ray Longo, Cal, said that he's going to have to walk through the fire to get to him, right? And Mr.
That's
Plus.
leg number 1 of the Darce, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Leg number 1 of the Darce for me, and I know it's the main event, so it's going to be your last leg, and you have an opportunity to hedge right here if we hit everything else, plus money for Merab if you want. I'm going Sean O'Malley, first leg of the Darce.
Yeah, and that'll end up being the 3rd leg, actually. But yes, that'll be his leg. Man, I just think that, even Ray Longo saying that he's going to have to walk through the fire to get to him. I mean, O'Malley's such a precision striker, the angling, the footwork. Aljo had a tough time taking him down, even after he slipped, right? I mean, if you want to make an argument for the Merab side, he was able to wrap up Jose Aldo. He was able to totally shut down and neutralize Peter Yan. What makes O'Malley different? Why is he going to be able to keep that pressure off? Do you like him to be able to do so, or do you think Merab is going to be able to wrap him up?
Yeah, I'm just going to be straight up. I'm on O'Malley in this one. Normally I'd be on, it's a relentless wrestler versus, a sniper-like striker. Normally I'm on the relentless wrestler, but 25 minutes is a long time. And although Piotr Yan got taken down so many times and the takedown numbers were so crazy in the 50s or 60s, whatever the takedown attempts were, the reality of the fact is Yan sort of chips away at you, cuts you, damages you, and slowly puts you out that way. That didn't work against Merab because he was suffocating him nonstop. Against O'Malley, he's going to have 25 minutes to touch that chin, and he only needs 1. He hits so hard. He sets up well. He can be a setup striker, but he also can sort of set, march forward a little bit and land on you as well, too. So I think O'Malley's the side in this one. I think, money line minus 120 right now is the spot. I think, Plus was saying, Merab probably gets 3 or 4 takedowns. But even if this goes to decision, I was looking at Merab by decision, O'Malley by KO. But at the same time, I could see O'Malley still landing enough that this goes to decision, and he still gets his hand raised for that too. So I'll just go money line, keep it nice and clean, or even look at the idea of a parlay hedge set up for yourself as well too for the end of the night. Great way to approach it.
I love it, Cal. Let's see if it's unanimous from Slick. Slick, I feel like I remember this fight distinctly with you. We must have betting on this fight when Merab was making his run. I was like, I heard about this Merab guy. I'm betting on him against Marlon Moraes. And Moraes almost freaking killed him. That was an insane fight. But he took so much damage against a good striker like Moraes. Came back, beat him. I don't think he's going to be able to do something like that against O'Malley if he's taking similar damage. Do you?
Yeah, and the one concern about Merab is that he's been getting a lot of one punch wobbled. Cejudo wobbled him with that one good left hook. And Marias wobbled him with that one good left hook that started the whole thing with Marias almost finishing him. And this is just a spot that I honestly think that we could see opportunity for O'Malley if he lands one big shot and Marab gets down on the ground. You hit him a couple times, and the fight could get stopped. Like I honestly think the UFC really wants Sean O'Malley to become champion, and they will do anything. UFC, Daniel White is not starting to like Marab in the sense that he doesn't like his fighting style. He doesn't like his antics outside the UFC, what he's been doing. And this is just one of those guys, Sean O'Malley, that if you give him an opportunity to take advantage of any realm of the striking, he's gonna hurt you. So I don't trust Marab to land some ground and pound, some grappling submission. I don't trust him to do any of that because he hasn't shown me any of that. So this is just a spot that I gotta take O'Malley, and I think O'Malley KOs him early. I think O'Malley gets him out of there like in the second round.
I like it. And I couldn't agree more with your points about the business angle. I mean, do you think that on UFC Fight Noche at the Sphere in the main event, they want Marab to decisionate him with clinch control and repeated grab? Is that going to make Dana and the brass happy? No, sir. I think you're absolutely right. I think we're live for an early stoppage where Marab's like, I'm fine. What the hell? And whoever's ref in the main event's like, sorry, man, you got clipped up. Similar to Aljo. Aljo was, you could argue that was a little early.
If Mark Goddard is in the main event, I'm hammering Sean O'Malley.
You know it. Cal, what do you think?
One more thing, too. I think that O'Malley's shown time and time again he's creative as hell. I think even up against the cage, when Marab's trying to take him down, you're going to see him landing damaging elbows and working different things. I think he's going to be able to try to get him out of there that way. I think he's just too potent.
Don't forget, he's got underrated grappling defense. Like, it's getting better and better. You see him at grappling tournaments lacing up nasty guillotines, not just regular conventional ones. He switched the grip. He did some really interesting shit where he like pushed his wrist up in this unorthodox way to tighten. I was like, damn, that was savage. I mean, the dude he's not a zero on the ground. Like he's here. He's here. He's championship caliber, obviously, in the grappling department, I think, at this point as well. So yeah, I think Marab's going to have a tough time, maybe harder time than Aljo did, and it could go very similarly. All right, guys, there's our main event picks. All on Sugar Sean O'Malley. I like that we all agree on the main event. Hopefully we can all cash big to close the night. It's time for our dogs of the week now. And there aren't that many that I'm interested in taking a stab at. So I'll let Mr. Plus Money kick it off because that is his name. Who do you like here?
Yo, come on, guys. And my name's Josh. I'm going against Josh Van. I'm going with Edgar Shirez. Man, I have cashed in on this guy his last two fights, and I'm going to continue cashing in on him. I just think that Edgar is nasty, bro. He's not the fighter you want to see. He's ugly. He's a gangbanger. He's like someone that'll literally come to your house with bop, bop, bop. Bro, he is a gangster, bro. I'm not going against this guy. Joshua Van is in trouble, and I think that he's coming back too fast from his last fight. It wasn't a good look for him. That last fight wasn't his best work, and he didn't get the dub. And I'm taking Edgar Shirez, man. I gotta go with the momentum here. Noche, Mexico. He's one of my favorite Mexican fighters, man. And like I said, yo, don't be surprised if he pulls out that shank, like Edgar Shirez for the bag.
I was in the building in Vegas for UFC Fight Noche the first time around for the Shevchenko Grasso 2 and for Shirez to take on Daniel Lacerda, and he came out with the ammo strap around his shoulder, so gangster. And then they had that guillotine that ended up being called standing guillotine that was called a no contest. Weird stuff. He got the rematch. He finished him with a triangle choke. So Shirez,
he won that. He won both.
Clear win, but he got it done anyway. Justice was done. So now he gets another opponent here, Cal, who, I think is a solid opponent in Joshua Van, like Mr. Plus said, coming off a brutal knockout just a couple months ago against Charles Johnson. That was a banger of a fight. Those guys were throwing down heavy, and Johnson landed a perfect uppercut. So quick turnaround. You also like Shirez in this spot?
I do. I mean, it's the first thing as soon as I see his name in a fight card, I just think the dog. Like, he's got that dog in him already. And so already when I have a guy that has value, has that fire in him, and I don't want to get too much into it, but he has that true Latino sort of spirit behind him. He's got that tooth and nail in the fight all the way to the end. His striking differential isn't the best. I'm looking at just some stats here. I think Joshua Van may try to outvolume him a little bit, but he just makes it greasy. And at plus 190, when I think that he could, dirty box and just make this interesting. And when Johnson, another guy that, we should never underestimate against Van as well, too, just showed you what happens when you underestimate someone. I mean, Van throws a lot into his punches, and at times you see him sort of get tagged up as well, too. And although he's going to be pretty solid for a little while in the UFC, I just think there's value at a plus 190 on a guy who shows me he's a dog. So I'm back in plus on this one. I think it's the value dog of the week.
Shayed as the value dog of the week, says Cal, and says Mr. Plus. What says Slick Montana about this fight?
Yeah, I'm a pick Van in this spot. I just don't think that Chaitis is going to implement grappling in this fight, because that's just not his style. I understand he got a lot of subs in his arsenal, but he doesn't shoot takedowns. He's just, a lot of his subs are people on top of him, and he's him getting arm bars and triangles and stuff like that. So this is just a spot that I think this fight is going to be standing. I really, really love the over 2.5 in this spot, though. That's going to be, I'm hoping to get some good odds on that. Maybe get it as a straight bet. I'm put like 2-3 units on it if I'm able to get a straight bet, because I just think these guys, I understand the Van coming early, but Van is just one of those guys that he walks around at damn near at this weight. He doesn't really cut too much weight in that sense. He's already a small fighter. So I just think this is going to be a back and forth brawl. Maybe Van landing at least the more damaging shots, because Torres is one of those guys that he gets hit a lot, but sometimes he hits you harder. So I'm gonna go with Van in the spot. Maybe outvaluing Torres and winning a close 29-28 decision.
I like that too, man, to be honest. I think Shaides makes this a good fight for sure, but I see a Van decision in my mind's eye. Close one. Shaides as tough as they come. I think that if he's unable to get his grappling going and get opportunistic chances for it, that he's going to end up getting maybe outlanded at range. He's kind of an unrefined striker. He throws with big power, but Van obviously isn't afraid to move forward. My one concern is that he's coming back too quick from a knockout. And if Shaides does clip him with something, that maybe he chins him again. But Van is a tough young kid. I mean, he's 22 years old still. So I think he'll be okay to come back. And it's a good matchup. I lean Van decision if there's a prop out there that I would bet in this fight. But I like it being 29-28 close affair.
To cap the capper quickly, guys, to come out from the ones and twos. Not that I know shit, but I just got to be straight up. When I have one guy saying it's over 2.5, one guy says it's go to decision. I get the volume thing. That could be a big case in this fight. But at plus 190 in a greasy fight in Mexican independent or Noche, I'll take judges at plus 190 again. Thank you.
Makes total sense. Makes total sense. Cal's always looking for the greasy angles. That's Cal.
Yeah, I'll take the guy with the headband, and if he comes out with bullets all over his chest, you already know it's game over for Van.
I will be. If I end up betting like half a unit on Van decision and he comes out with the ammo strap, I'll be like, why did I do that? All right, guys, next fight. Well, we have to talk about my dog of the week. And honestly, like I said, I don't really like any dogs, but I'll talk about one for the sake of it. Like if I thought to myself, gun to the head, you have to pick a dog on Fight Noche, Brasco. Pick one. Arichi Leng plus 7.575. Chihuahuas is probably going to submit him. Let's be honest. But Arichi Leng got the toughness, man. I mean, he's only been subbed like twice in his MMA career, and it happened years and years ago. Rosas will probably have his way on the ground, but Arichi Leng has some experience. He also has a loss to Jeff Molina. I don't like it, but I don't like Raul Rosas at minus 850. It's like, is there any world in hell that Chihuahuas loses this fight?
No, because this guy is just gonna probably shoot a takedown within the first 15 seconds of this fight. And Arichi Leng, like, he falls over like nothing. Like, this guy, you could breathe some air right now, and he's falling. Like, he's not gonna be able to stuff the takedowns. He's one of those guys that he's just tougher than you in some moments, and he's able to get some volume going. But hey, man, I'm not betting on Arichi Leng, and Chihuahua's sub prop is probably gonna be like minus 200. So.
That's that. How do you bet it? Mr. Plus, how do you bet this fight? Chihuahuas?
Yeah. Chihuahuas. Duh. Bro, I don't know how you're even taking a dog shot. Just give me your money. I'll bet you whatever you want on this fight. Chihuahuas, first or second round submission Or you could go Chiwiwi's decision, which Arichi Lane can make it. But dude, this guy likes to bang. He likes to fight too. There's no doubt this guy's a fighter. He won't stop. He's pretty relentless himself. We've sent relentless 17 times on tonight's show. And I'm going to tell you right now, Arichi Lang is one of those guys that will fight you tooth and nail. But Mexican Noche. Well, I don't think it's Independence Day. I don't know what the fuck I don't know what this is, bro. They just UFC Noche 306, bro. He's the leading fight. He's the lead off hitter, bro. Minus 700. I think the odds are a little crazy. I would see him at like a minus 450, minus 350. However, I think the bookmakers know what they're doing. They're saying, yo, you want to bet on Rosas? You got to lay the wood. I'll take him by sub or decision, and that's probably closer to minus 210-ish. But either way, man, this isn't a parlay piece. It's really just a lead off. Let's go Rosas Jr. Let's keep it going. He gave his whole backstory, went back to how he was a kid, how he got in his stomach infection, the cleft lip he was born with. So chill with that, ladies and gentlemen. That has nothing to do with any of his infections. This kid is a dog. He's ripped. He's selling merch. I bought some. Give me Chiwiwis. I'll go by decision or a submission.
He's selling merch. I purchased some. I want some as well. I need like a Chiwiwis something. It's just so funny. Submission decision is an interesting way to maybe make it a parlay piece. Slick, did I go to you on this one already?
Yeah, and in your defense, quickly, we sort of brought this up as a talking point to either talk people into a good value bet or off of one. And really, it's off of one. All you need to know about this fight is 4.39 average takedowns per fight for Chiwiwis. He lands only 1.12 strikes per fight. It shows you where he spends most of his fights, on the ground. If you look at the takedown defense for our boy on the other side, 46%. That's it.
That's just math. That's just how math works, guys. Rosa sub. Okay. It's time. Oh, no, we have one more dog. Slick didn't give his dog. It's one we already talked about, but he's going to make another case for Norma here, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to just go with Norma Dumont in this spot. Like I already said earlier, I really don't have much to say. This is just a girl that knows how to win. I'm going to keep backing her until she shows me that she has some fight IQ flaw. So give me Norma Dumont, money line.
That's kind of a good way to sum it up. She just knows how to win fights. She just ends up getting her way on the scorecards, whatever it's got to be done. All right, guys, it's time to make a 4-leg Darce parlay this week. We got a fourth member, guest appearance, celebrity shot from Cal, but we're going to start in order of the fights that they go down the card, and that'll begin with Slick Montana. Who's the first leg of the Darce?
Yeah, we're going with Ronaldo Rodriguez in this spot. I really like him, and even as a minus 130, if you want to bet him straight, I'm cool with that. But this is just a spot that I think we fade everybody fade Osborne until he proves us wrong, and he has yet to prove us wrong. So give me Ronaldo Rodriguez.
That's that. The one time he proved us wrong was his split decision win over Charles Johnson that everyone knows he did not win. So that's it. Fade Osborne until further notice. Let's go to Cal for leg number 2. What do you got, sir?
I'm going to bring in Daniel Zellhuber. For me, it's just the length, the size, the level of striking is going to utilize that size really well. And I just see him either winning a decision or getting it done inside the distance late. So for me, Zellhuber's my leg of the parlay.
Lazy Boy Rodriguez, Daniel Zellhuber, number 2. It's time for your boy. I'm going Diego Lopez. I absolutely love the matchup for him against a fading, I feel, Brian Ortega, a guy that's pretty close to his way out. I think he's talking interests in other things in his life beyond fighting. I think Lopez could not be more dialed in. Like I said, 5 fights in 16 months. I mean, the guy is just fighting nonstop and only getting better. This is the fighter. This is the side. I even think minus 170, very much worth a straight bet. So Diego Lopez, great parlay leg here. And we're going to close it out with Mr. Plus Money to make it plus 587. How do we win this one?
It's a plus 587, boys and girls, and I love that pick, Brasco. Man, Diego Lopez, he's the only guy I've ever seen block with his face that wins. Give me for the last leg Sean O'Malley to close this bitch down. I know it's the last fight of the night. Hey, that means you might have a hedge spot. And at the end of the day, Sean O'Malley, the most electric fighter in the UFC since Conor McGregor, the pink hair, the flair, the fucking Nelk boy sitting behind him, Dana White rooting for this guy. Man, I love Sean O'Malley.
And that'll close it out, boys. Plus 587 with the Sugar Show to end it. And we got some awesome fighters in this parlay. I'm feeling pretty damn good about a four-legger here. All right, guys, there's only one fight left to talk about in the honorable mentions on this 10-fight card. And it's Yasmin Jauregui, another Mexican fighter, taking on Ketlin Souza. Not one that's going to draw too much interest with Jauregui at minus 500, Souza plus 380. I like Jauregui to win. She's a pretty sharp kickboxer. She lost to Denise Gomez, who I called for the upset there. Big plus money underdog who got in there just nailed some nasty shots in the dirty boxing. But other than that, I think Jauregui's been able to get back on track, beat Sam Hughes, a veteran, and she'll beat Ketlin Souza here. Slick, is it Jauregui easy work?
Honestly, I'm gonna take the dog in this spot, man. I'm gonna take the dog shot in this spot. Souza has just shown that she's relentless. She's gonna throw volume. She's gonna throw good strikes. And the one thing concerned about Yasmin and her fight against, I believe it was before the Denise Gomez fight, that crazy
Yasmin Lucindo.
Yeah, and the one concern about
Sam Hughes, wasn't it? That
Nah,
gave her a problem. Sam Hughes.
It was before Denise
Gomez.
And the one concern about her is that she's able to get taken down. She's able to get controlled. She's able to get hit on the feet. You know, she's a good, solid kickboxer. And the one concern is that she gets hit. So if you want to, like, Lucindo landed close to 100+ strikes in that fight. I think it's a good spot for Souza to at least implement some type of dirty wrestling, dirty boxing, dirty anything, and just make this fight closer than the odds suggest. I understand Souza is a little bit more green than Jauregui. Jauregui probably has the more power shots, but I think at plus 340, plus 350 for Souza, I think it's worth a little sprinkle for me.
Wow, who knew there was a case for Ketlin Souza out there? Look, I ain't betting Jauregui, and now I damn sure ain't betting this. Look like Souza. Fire me up, guys. It's UFC Noche 306. Hey, let's leave on one more thought about O'Malley here, and I want your guys' thoughts on this take. You know, the UFC's kind of like running out of star power a little bit. Alex Pereira is a stud, but he's getting up there in age, right? John Jones is pretty much a ghost at this point. He's going to fight Stipe in a Jake Paul-esque fight and then maybe walk off into the sunset. And after that, I mean, who are the champions with massive draws, right? Like, feels like we're running Izzy. The Izzy era is over. The Volk era is over. Holloway, do we still have to? I mean, what do you guys think? Like, is O'Malley the Conor McGregor, Mr. Plus? Is he the one that must take over?
For the last fight, Yasmin's the pick, Souza's the bet. Just so we're clear on that one, boys, because I'm not going to just let you know that, of course, Souza's not supposed to win, but she's the bet. You want to throw a quarter unit on something? Plus 500, girl fight, probably going the distance? Throw it on that. And you're right, Slick, the last time she lost was to somebody like Denise Gomes. Very similar style to this girl. So anyways, yeah, you know, Brasco, that's a great question. Is O'Malley the future? I think there's kids that are younger, even younger than O'Malley. I love O'Malley, that are the future, man. I'm loving all of these fighting nerds. I'm also loving all of these the ones who train with, oh my God, don't lose it. Diego Lopez. I love Diego Lopez, except for Grasso. Grasso's not my girl. But Diego Lopez, this kid is young. He's a stud. What's he, 28, 29? Man, he could go for 3-4 more years. Holy shit, he looks good, man. If he whoops Ortega's ass and puts him out, this could be the new era for that division. So, and again, he only fought catch weight last fight because Dan Ige came on last short notice. He made weight twice. Then that happened. Don't forget all that, boys. Don't forget all that. I like Diego Lopez. I like what he's doing. I like O'Malley. Oh, man, there's so many young kids that are coming up. Man, Lima showed that he is a a beast last week, bro. That's one we didn't even talk about. Lima against that Dos Santos kid, bro. Dos Santos is nasty on the feet. Lima was just straight power. Flat feet didn't matter. Head movement, power. Yo, he would hit you so hard, you felt it through the TV.
Yo, can you
Boys,
tell
I
Mr. Plus?
appreciate you guys coming through this week, man.
Can you tell Mr. Plus is fired up? I'm just like, yo, what do you think of like the future of the UFC? And he's like, yo, Ketlin Souza is live. Yo, Andre Lima was really good. He's just like, I'm fighting everywhere. Cal, what do you think, man? Is it on O'Malley to lead the beacon of UFC superstardom, or without him, who do people give a shit about?
So, I mean, I was going to try to find a case for the most hated Canadian fighters, how we're all being faded by the market right now, and how we're going to have this resurgence in the fall. But I'm going to back off that so you guys can all kick rocks and do your shit. Come test me if you like. But on the flip side of things, I'm going to go with Bo Nickel, man. I think that he speaks well. He's got a good online presence. Obviously, his wrestling pedigree is just it's just dirty. His striking isn't as good as it's being played up yet, but it's getting there. And if he continues to get better and better camp by camp, this guy's just being set up to be one of if he gets the belt, he's not letting it go for a long time. So for me, I just think Bo Nickel, they're going to set him up right to get that belt. And when he does, good luck trying to get that strap from him. So he's the future.
Bo Nickel, there's a potential future candidate. I mean, they're going to need an American. It can't be Weili Zhang as the UFC's dominant champion for the future, Slick. Is it O'Malley? Is it someone? I mean, how many does Islam have left? Is he going to take the Khabib route and retire kind of early? Like, who goes forward if Pereira only has maybe 2-3 fights left?
Our boy Tom Aspinall, man. Our guy Tom Aspinall. Once he gets John Jones retired, not wanting to fight him, I'm gonna go with Tom Aspinall. I just think that the one guy that we all know, Conor McGregor, he was not scared to fight nobody, anywhere, anytime. And this is just a spot that I honestly think Tom Aspinall, if he beats John Jones, if he ever fights him, or if he just takes the championship, I really don't see nobody in this division beating him for, like, I would say the next 3-4 years. So he's gonna be the champ for a long time. And but right under him though, I have to say O'Malley. I think O'Malley is starting to recognize the youthful fans in this spot, chilling with streamers, chilling with guys like Kyler Murray for the Cardinals. I just think he knows how to work the social media presence also. And this is a guy that started his own podcast also. So I just think he's more out there, more more like Tom Aspinall is that guy that he worries about what's happening in the cage. He shows out everybody fair, like Alex Pereira, like he's not that big for social media, but when he comes in the cage, it means business. So I think that's gonna be Tom Aspinall. But when it comes to like the generation, I think Sean O'Malley is definitely gonna be champ as long as he stays champion.
I was waiting for someone to say our boy.
Nebraska, let me ask you. I'm sure the fans really would like to know. Do you have a Tom Aspinall poster above your bed on the ceiling? I'm just curious.
I don't. I don't know why I haven't installed that, because I'm late to that, because I worship him. He's my favorite fighter, and I love that. I mean, yeah, I don't think he'll ever fight John Jones. I think it's really real. Like, John Jones has everything to lose, and he wouldn't take that fight. And we'll see if Aspinall can be that dominant champion. We'll see if O'Malley can remain that dominant champion. All right, guys. UFC 306. Fight Noche. Riyadh season. Saudi oil money is honoring Mexican heritage. That just confuses me so much. There's pyrotechnics. There's IMAX effects. If you watch it at home, I don't know, is stuff going to smell-o-vision? Can I smell the fight and the blood through the screen? Who knows? They had that on Nickelodeon when I was a kid. But that's Cal on the 1s and 2s, and here as a guest celebrity today. That's Mr. Plus Money. That's Slick Montana. This is the Darce Podcast. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, leave us a comment on who you're backing, and let's freaking go, baby. Vamonos. UFC.
I
fight
remember
Noche.
that, bro. Smell-o-vision. Cal, fucking come on, Cal.
Let's leave on the last guy. Oh my God, it's a brawl in the cage. It's a brawl in the cage. Mr. Plus is taking shots. Oh my God. And that's it. Peace out, guys. Best of luck on your best.